Hello and welcome. My name is Lyra, and it is a wonderful privilege to invite you into our shared space today for another journey into the heart of natural English. I want us to take a deep breath and settle in together. Learning a language is never a perfectly straight line. The process is a beautifully messy human experience. People often spend a massive amount of time worrying about perfection. We memorize complex grammar rules. We study endless lists of difficult vocabulary. We try incredibly hard to build flawless sentences in our minds before we even open our mouths, but true connection does not require perfection at all. True connection only requires clarity and a sense of comfort. Today we are going to look closely at some of the tiny hurdles many learners face. We are not going to treat these moments as terrible errors. We will look at them as gentle stepping stones instead. Each one presents a small opportunity to sound just a little bit more natural. We are going to explore 7 very specific moments where a small shift in your word choice can completely change how your sentence feels. We will avoid using boring definitions entirely. We will walk through real situations together. We will see exactly how the phrases live and breathe in the real world. So, find a comfortable spot, let your shoulders drop, and let us just talk. Imagine sitting at your desk on a quiet Tuesday morning. A colleague walks over and hands you a dense financial summary. You look down at the complicated columns of numbers. None of the information makes immediate sense to you. A gentle wave of confusion washes over your mind. The instinct for many learners is to ask a very direct question. They might tell their coworker, "Explain me the document." The intention remains perfectly clear to everyone in the room. Your colleague will certainly understand your honest request for help. But the rhythm feels slightly abrupt to a native ear. The natural phrasing requires a tiny bridge between the action and yourself. You would tell them, "Explain the document to me." The preposition acts as a gentle hand reaching out. It connects the detailed explanation directly to your mind. Let us take the exact same phrase into a completely different setting. You are resting on your comfortable couch at home. A close friend sits directly next to you. They look visibly upset about something. Their voice shakes slightly as they begin to talk. The conversation turns to an argument they just had with a sibling. You want to understand their complex and heavy feelings. Offering genuine comfort is your only goal. You softly say, "Explain to me what happened." Notice how the same words work perfectly in a tender moment. The situation is no longer about cold business data. The moment is entirely about deep emotional connection. The structure holds strong across both distinct environments. If you want a beautiful variation for the busy office, another approach works well. You can hold the financial summary and say, "Walk me through it." The words create a wonderful image of two people taking a stroll through the information together. The phrase feels highly cooperative and genuinely warm. Think about the last time you sat in a professional meeting room. The projector displays a brand new marketing strategy. The room goes completely quiet for a moment. You want to suggest a deep dive into the complex details. Many people learning English will say, "We need to discuss about the strategy." It feels completely logical to add the extra word. You are talking about a specific subject after all. A native speaker will understand you instantly, yet they will notice a tiny bump in the flow of your sentence. In natural English, the verb discuss already contains the idea of talking about something. You simply say, "We need to discuss the strategy." The extra word just fades away entirely. The sentence becomes lean and highly confident. Let us bring the verb out of the corporate boardroom. Picture 2 people sitting at a small kitchen table. They are holding bright and colorful travel brochures. They are planning a long holiday for the upcoming summer. The household budget needs to be managed very carefully. One person looks across the wooden table. They say, "We should discuss our travel plans tonight." The phrasing is incredibly clean and direct. It leaves no room for any unnecessary clutter. The conversation flows smoothly from the starting point. If you truly enjoy using the word about, there is a perfect alternative available. You can simply change the action verb. You can tell your partner we should talk about our travel plans. Both versions are incredibly common in daily life. You can simply choose the phrase feeling best in your own mouth. Picture a cozy neighborhood cafe on a rainy afternoon. The smell of freshly roasted coffee fills the air. You are sitting opposite a very good friend. They take a slow sip of their hot drink and look out the window. They remark the weather has been unusually cold lately. You feel the exact same winter chill in the air. You want to express your shared feeling openly. A frequent habit is to say, I am agree. It seems to make sense grammatically in many other languages. English treats the concept purely as an action. The feeling is not considered a permanent state of being. You do not need the extra helping verb. You simply say, I agree. It is a firm and confident statement of shared thought. We can move the phrase into a much more serious environment. Imagine a high-stakes negotiation in a formal setting. The person across the table presents a very fair compromise. You want to accept their terms graciously and politely. You look them directly in the eye. You say, I agree with your proposal. The simplicity of the sentence gives it massive strength. It removes any lingering hesitation from your voice. When you spend time with us here at SpeakFlow English, you start to notice these tiny shifts. You begin to feel how dropping one small word can make your voice sound so much more grounded. There is another lovely way to express exact agreement. If you're talking to a friend and want to sound very supportive, you can use a different expression entirely. You can say, I am with you on the matter. It creates a beautiful sense of standing side by side. It tells the other person they are absolutely not alone in their opinion. Let us think about making simple weekend plans. The long work week is finally coming to an end. A colleague asks if you want to visit the botanical garden on Saturday. You would absolutely love to go and see the flowers. The only problem is the dark clouds gathering outside. Your answer relies entirely on the upcoming forecast. A very common slight error is saying it depends of the weather. The listener knows exactly what you mean. The natural English connection uses a different preposition entirely. You would say it depends on the weather. The preposition gives the sentence a very solid foundation. The phrase works just as powerfully in important life decisions. Imagine a hiring manager looking at two excellent resumes. Both candidates possess truly great skills. A director asks which person will get the prestigious job. The manager might reply, it depends on their interview performance. The decision rests heavily upon one single upcoming event. The sentence structure remains perfectly consistent. Think about a parent talking to their young child. The child asks if they can have extra screen time before bed. The parent considers the request carefully for a moment. They might reply, it depends on whether the homework is finished. Notice how the phrase stretches to cover an entire condition. It acts as a polite but incredibly firm boundary. The child understands the household rule immediately. The tiny hinge holds the whole condition together securely. If you want to vary your vocabulary, you can explore another beautiful option. You can say our choice relies on the interview. The feeling is just slightly more formal and serious. Both versions belong completely in your daily vocabulary. Imagine drafting an important email late in the afternoon. You have just signed a major contract with a new client. You want to express your deep enthusiasm for your upcoming professional relationship. You type out a cheerful closing sentence. A very typical choice for a learner is to write, I'm looking forward to meet you. It sounds perfectly polite and highly respectful. Yet a native speaker will always add a tiny rhythmic bounce to the end of the phrase. They will write, I'm looking forward to meeting you. Adding the continuous sound changes the verb into an ongoing feeling. It tells the client your excitement is active and alive right now. We can lift the phrase out of the office entirely. Let us bring it into the warm family home. Imagine waiting at the busy airport arrivals gate. You have not seen your favorite cousin in 5 long years. They finally walk through the sliding glass doors. You run up and give them a massive hug. You step back and say, "I have been looking forward to seeing you." The emotion is raw and completely genuine. The grammar remains exactly the same as the formal business email. The structure holds incredibly strong across both vastly different situations. Sometimes you might want to express the feeling with even more wild energy. If the situation is very casual and joyful, you can change your approach completely. You can simply say, "I cannot wait to see you." The phrase carries a wonderful rush of pure excitement. It feels incredibly warm and deeply human. Picture yourself standing in a bustling home kitchen. You're helping a friend cook a traditional meal from their home country. The wooden counter is covered in fresh and colorful ingredients. Your friend hands you a strange and leafy green vegetable. You have never seen anything quite like it before. You want to know its specific, proper name. A very common instinct is to ask, "How do you call the vegetable?" It makes logical sense to ask for the exact method of naming. In English, we focus on the object itself rather than the method. We ask, "What do you call the vegetable?" You're asking for the specific word, you're asking for the thing itself. The tiny shift makes a profound difference in how natural you sound. Think about a completely different professional scenario. You are sitting at a desk learning a complex piece of software. The computer screen is filled with tiny icons and confusing menus. The trainer points to a specific tiny button. You need to refer to the button in your own handwritten notes. You look at the trainer and ask what you call the specific tool. The focus is entirely on identifying the unknown object. Finding these small and elegant adjustments is exactly why we gather here on SpeakFlow English. We want to smooth out those little edges until your words flow like clear water. There is a gentle alternative you can use in any situation. If you're holding an object and want to know its name, you can shift the focus entirely. You can ask what the item is called. It removes you and the other person completely from the action. It is a wonderfully polite way to gather information when you are feeling unsure. Let us talk about the universal human concept of errors. We all stumble sometimes on our journey. Imagine you're spending your weekend painting your quiet living room. You chose a beautiful shade of blue for the bare walls. You open the paint can and start rolling the color onto the dry plaster. After an hour, you step back to look at your hard work. The color looks completely wrong in the bright afternoon light. It is far too dark for the small space. A frequent habit for someone learning the language is to sigh heavily and say, "I did a mistake." The verb implies completing a regular daily task or an activity. English views errors very differently. We see them as things we actively create. The natural phrasing is, "I made a mistake." You brought the error into physical existence. The phrase carries a lot of emotional weight when used in personal relationships. Think about a quiet moment of deep regret. You completely forgot a very close friend and their special birthday. The day passed without a single phone call or a text message. You feel terrible when you realize what actually happened. You invite them over for hot coffee to apologize properly. You look at them honestly and say, "I made a huge mistake." The chosen verb takes full ownership of the delicate situation. It shows true maturity and deep personal accountability. The phrase gives your apology massive strength and pure sincerity. If you are in a much more casual situation, there is a lighter way to admit fault. Imagine playing a friendly board game and making the wrong move. You can just laugh and say, "I messed up." It is a highly informal expression used among friends. It carries absolutely no heavy guilt or sadness. It just acknowledges a tiny bump in the road. We have walked through so many different situations together today. We have been in busy professional offices and quiet neighborhood cafes. We have planned summer holidays and painted living room walls. Through all of the varied stories, you might have noticed a common thread. The difference between a sentence feeling slightly translated and a sentence feeling perfectly natural is often just one single word. It is a missing preposition. It is an added rhythmic ending. It is a slight change in the core action word. The hurdles are not massive grammatical mountains you have to climb. They are just tiny adjustments to your daily habits. You do not need to memorize them all right now. Just let the gentle rhythm of the situation sit in your mind. The next time you're standing in a kitchen holding an unfamiliar vegetable, the right phrase will come back to you. The next time you're sitting in a professional meeting, you will feel the natural flow of the conversation guide your words. You are already doing the most important work just by being here and listening. You are actively training your ear to catch the subtle music of the language. Every time you listen, the music becomes a little more familiar. Your confidence will grow quietly in the background without you even noticing. Be patient with yourself as you continue to practice. Making mistakes is exactly how we learn to speak. Making mistakes is exactly how we learn to connect. You are doing wonderfully. I'm so deeply grateful you chose to spend your valuable time with me today. Have a beautiful rest of your day and keep enjoying the journey of finding your authentic voice.